drive it in a completely different way than you drive any other car, really. It's that Frenchness. It's like, we're right. This is the correct way of building a car. Just get used to it. I guess that's why they have the word je ne sais quoi. I think that cars today are almost the exact equivalent of the great Gothic cathedrals. I mean, the supreme creation of an era, conceived with passion by unknown artists and consumed in image, if not in usage, by a whole population which appreciates them as a purely magical object. We must not forget that an object is the best messenger of a world above, that of nature. One can easily see in an object at once a perfection and an absence of origin, closure and a brilliance, a transformation of life into matter, and in a word, a silence which belongs to the realm of fairy tales. The DS is obviously the exaltation of glass, and pressed metal is only the support for it. Funny thing is, I didn't really get into 2CVs because I actually had any desire to have a 2CV. I just needed a cheap, reliable car at the time. Having driven one in Sweden, brand new one, I came back and saw one in the local paper and thought, well, that looks all right. 900 quid, I think it was. And it was only really when I started using it in earnest and working on it myself, and you realise actually what a really good design they are, how well put together they are and how practical they are. And it got to the point then where we ended up using it as an everyday car and been all over the world in it. And then I guess the trip up the scale, the AMI was the next one I got, which was supposed to be the gap between the 2CV and the DS. So I guess I kind of moved up to petit bourgeois, you might say. The next logical step was always going to be a DS, but it wasn't something I ever thought I'd be able to afford. In its day, what was it, 1955 it came out? Huge leap forward in car design. I mean, the most obvious thing was the aerodynamic shape. I don't think there'd ever been a car as streamlined as this in mass production. That was the main thing. That's the thing that everybody notices. But you look under the skin and you've got the hydraulic suspension and the hydraulic assistance for the steering. There's so much on these that was so far ahead of its time. I don't know whether you can really pin it down what it is that unites, and there is definitely something. It's that Frenchness. It's like, we're right. This is the correct way of building a car. Just get used to it. And people did, in their millions, thankfully. One is obviously turning from an alchemy of speed to a relish in driving. The public, it seems, has admirably defined the novelty of the themes which are suggested to it. Responding at first to the neologism, a whole publicity campaign had kept it on the alert for years. It tries very quickly to fall back on a behaviour which indicates adjustment and a readiness to use. You've got to get used to it.